Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question that can transform your entire life. What are you doing with your 24 hours? Because here's the truth. Success isn't found in your bank account, your background, or even your brilliance. Success is hidden in your schedule. Every person on this planet, rich or poor, CEO or employee, winner or whiner, has the same 24 hours. What separates the wealthy from the worried, the builders from the breakers, the achievers from the average is how they use those hours. So today I'm going to break down how successful people use their 24 hours on purpose, with precision and with power. And if you apply this, your life will never be the same. Successful people don't spend time, they invest it. This distinction may seem subtle, but it's the difference between mediocrity and mastery. When you spend time, it's gone. There's no return. It's used up. Like a currency, you hand it over for something temporary, but when you invest time, you're planting it like a seed with the expectation of a return, whether that return is in the form of income, wisdom, health, relationships, or personal growth. This mindset shift is one of the most powerful things you can embrace on the path to success. Unsuccessful people often treat time as something to get rid of, killing time, scrolling through social media, watching hours of mindless television, or simply doing things to get through the day. They are reacting to life, not directing it. In contrast, successful people are hyper aware that time is their most valuable, non-renewable asset. They evaluate where their time is going the same way an investor would evaluate where their money is going. If an activity isn't producing a return, whether that's financial, emotional, spiritual, or physical, they either delegate it, automate it, or eliminate it. Let's take a quick example. Imagine two individuals, both with the same 24 hours. The first wakes up, checks social media for 30 minutes, watches some YouTube videos while eating breakfast, works a 9-to-5 job just going through the motions, then comes home and spends the evening watching Netflix. They've spent their time, it's gone, nothing changed. That's the second person, wakes up early, spends 30 minutes reading a book on financial literacy, takes 15 minutes to set clear goals for the day, executes their job with excellence, and then spends 2 hours in the evening learning a new skill they can monetize. That person invested their time, and in 30 days, they'll have sharper skills, deeper knowledge, and a clearer vision. In a year, they'll be in a completely different financial and mental space. The key is that successful people expect a return on their time. They don't just work hard, they work smart, focused, and with purpose. Every meeting, every phone call, every book, every relationship is evaluated through the lens of return. This doesn't mean they never relax or enjoy life, but even their rest is strategic. It's not about hustle 24/7. It's about intentionality. Time with family is invested in building strong relationships. Time spent in the gym is invested in their health and energy. Time spent thinking is invested in clarity and vision. So if you want to shift into the mindset of success, start asking yourself one powerful question before you engage in any activity. What return will I get from this? It doesn't have to be financial. It can be peace, growth, love, strength, or influence. But there must be a return, because if you keep spending your time on what doesn't matter, you'll never have time for what does. But if you start investing your time wisely, your results will begin to multiply often faster than you imagine. Successful people operate from a vision, not a to-do list. While most people live day to day checking off tasks, the successful move with clarity, direction, and purpose. A to-do list is reactive. It's often filled with tasks that feel urgent but aren't necessarily important. Vision, on the other hand, is proactive. It's a guiding force that shapes your decisions, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. When people live by a to-do list, they fall into the trap of activity over productivity. They become busy but not effective. They wake up and ask, what do I need to get done today? Rather than asking, what's the one thing I can do today that brings me closer to my ultimate goal? A to-do list might have 15 items, but not one of them might move you forward. Vision eliminates the clutter. It forces you to filter every task through a bigger question. Does this align with where dividend gives birth to intentional living? When you operate from a vision, you don't let the world decide what you do with your day. You decide. You no longer let distractions detour your direction. You prioritize what matters most, even if it's not urgent. And over time, this consistency compounds into massive success. Let's take a simple example. Imagine two people starting a business. The first wakes up each day with a long to-do list. Respond to emails, tweak the website, update the Instagram bio, change font styles, brainstorm some content, watch a few YouTube tutorials. At the end of the day, they feel productive because they were busy, but they haven't moved any closer to landing a client or making money. The second person, however, starts the day with vision. My mission is to serve 10 clients this month and build a six-figure business this year. Because of that, their actions are focused. They spend their time doing direct outreach, building offers, creating sales systems, and speaking to prospects. They're not checking off random tasks. They're executing on purpose. This is not intelligence, talent, or even work ethic. It's alignment with vision. Vision gives you direction and power. It tells you not just what to do, but what not to do. It creates discipline because now you're no longer driven by emotion. You're driven by a destination. Successful people don't wake up hoping the day goes well. They design it to win. Every action is calculated. Every hour is assigned. Every effort is measured against the impact it creates. If you want to elevate your life, you must elevate your lens. Don't let tasks dictate your direction. Let vision dictate your tasks. Start by getting clear on where you're going, then reverse engineer the steps that take you there. Let that vision pull you out of bed in the morning and guide you through distractions during the day. Because a powerful vision isn't just something you see, it's something you live by. And those who live by vision never settle for average. Well, successful people start their day before the day starts. That means they don't wake up into chaos. They wake up before the chaos begins. While the world is still sleeping, they're preparing. They're building momentum in the silence. They're not reacting to life. They're directing it from the moment their feet hit the floor. This mindset and habit create a powerful shift in how the entire day unfolds. Most people roll out of bed, grab their phone, and immediately enter reaction mode. They check texts, scroll through social media, look at the news, and let the outside world set the tone for their day. They're already behind before they've even brushed their teeth. The day runs them, their energy is scattered, their mind is cluttered, they feel like they're playing catch-up from sunrise to sunset. But the successful take control. They own the morning. Before the demands of the day start knocking on their door, they've already centered their mind, set their intentions, and moved their body. This is not about having a long or complicated routine. It's about having ownership. A solid morning routine, whether it's 30 minutes or 2 hours, creates clarity, confidence, and control. It doesn't just change how the morning feels, it changes the results you create throughout the entire day. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine two entrepreneurs. The first wakes up at 8 a.m., checks emails immediately, jumps into Zoom meetings, and scrambles to respond to fires. They work all day, feel overwhelmed, and by evening, they can't even remember what they actually accomplished. Their day was dictated by urgency. The second entrepreneur wakes up at 5:30, IMMing. Before anyone needs anything from them, they spend 15 minutes reading, 10 minutes journaling their goals, and 20 minutes exercising. They review their schedule, prioritize their top 3 outcomes, and visualize their day going exactly as planned. By 8 a.m., they're not stressed. They're strong, clear, and calm. They don't just do more, they become more. That morning difference creates a life difference. Not starting the day before the day starts is about stepping into leadership over your life. It's about building a rhythm that feeds your soul before the noise of the world can distract you. It gives you space to think, to breathe, and to move with intention. When you own the morning, the rest of the day bends in your favor. You're no longer at the mercy of distractions or emotions. You're driven by purpose. Success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters before everything else tries to steal your attention. When you start your day before the day starts, you gain the edge. Not because you're more talented, but because you're more prepared. And in the game of life, preparation beats panic every time. So if you want to change your life, don't wait for the day to begin. Begin before the day. Successful people guard their energy ruthlessly because they understand that energy, not just time, is their true currency. You can have 24 hours in a day, but if your energy is drained, distracted, or scattered, those hours will be wasted. Energy fuels focus, creativity, decision-making, and productivity. Without it, even the best strategy will collapse. That's why the most successful individuals protect their energy with the same intensity that others protect their money. They know their future depends on it. Most people leak energy all day long. They say yes to things they should say no to. They engage in arguments that don't matter. They hang around negative people who drain their spirit. They try to do everything for everyone, and by the end of the day, they're mentally and emotionally bankrupt. The successful, on the other hand, know that every decision either adds to or subtracts from their energy account. They are intentional about who they talk to, what they focus on, what they eat, how they move, and even what they allow into their minds. They don't tolerate energy thieves, not in the form of toxic people, unnecessary obligations, or even negative thoughts. Protecting energy doesn't mean avoiding hard work. It means working from a place of strength, not depletion. It means building in rest, creating boundaries, and aligning daily activities with purpose. It's not selfish to guard your energy. It's smart, because when your energy is strong, your impact multiplies. You can lead better, think clearer, and perform at a level most people never reach. Here's a short example. Picture two high performers. The first says yes to every meeting, every favor, every project. They're constantly multitasking, constantly checking notifications, and constantly trying to keep up. By mid-afternoon, they're exhausted, irritable, and making poor decisions. The second person starts the day with intention. They block time for focused work, silence distractions, delegate tasks that aren't aligned with their strengths, and take breaks to recharge. They're not doing more, they're doing less better. Their energy stays high, their clarity sharpens, and the results skyrocket. So the difference isn't talent, it's energy management. That's why successful people treat their energy like a sacred asset. They say no unapologetically. They walk away from drama quickly. They eat foods that fuel them. They get enough rest to recharge fully. They spend time with people who inspire, not drain. They train their body and renew their mind daily. Every choice is made with one question in mind. Will this drain me or drive me? In the end, success is not just about how much you do, it's about how well you do it. And that depends on your energy. If you want to show up with excellence, lead with clarity, and produce at your highest level, start guarding your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Successful people master the minutes others throw away because they understand that greatness is not built in massive leaps. It's built in the small, consistent moments most people ignore. While the average person waits for the perfect time to act, the successful take advantage of every moment. They understand that even 5 minutes used well can create momentum, clarity, and progress. Time is not just about hours on a clock. It's about how you use the smallest spaces in between the big tasks. That's where excellence is forged. Most people underestimate the value of a few minutes. They waste them scrolling through social media, zoning out, or saying, it's just 5 minutes. But 5 minutes repeated 12 times a day is an hour. An hour a day is over 15 full days a year. That's more than 360 hours of potential mastery, growth, and transformation. Gone. The successful don't throw those moments away. They fill them with purpose. They understand that what you do in the margins of your day determines the direction of your life. Instead of idling in waiting rooms or aimlessly passing time in lines, they use those moments to read a few pages, write down ideas, follow up with clients, review goals, reflect, or plan. They know that small hinges swing big doors. They've trained their mind to see opportunity where others see interruption. Let's take a quick example. Imagine two aspiring authors. Both have full-time jobs, families, and busy lives. The first says, I don't have time to write. The second says, I'll use every pocket of time I get. Instead of waiting for a 3-hour block that never comes, they write during a 10-minute break, brainstorm while waiting for an appointment, and jot ideas during their commute. They squeeze productivity out of every crevice of their day. 6 months later, the first person is still talking about writing a book. The second has already finished the manuscript. Not because they had more time, because they mastered the minutes others threw away. This mindset shift is everything. Success doesn't always come from major actions. It comes from making minor moments matter. Successful people train their brain to ask, what can I do with this moment? Even one focused minute can move the needle. They don't waste time waiting for time. They create it. And mastering the minutes is also about being present. It's about recognizing the value in now. It's using the moment you have rather than regretting the one you lost or wishing for one that hasn't come. That's what separates high performers. They're engaged, focused, and intentional in the now. So if you want to elevate your life, stop looking for more time. Start owning the time you already have. Make your minutes count. Stack them with purpose. Because when you master the moments others ignore, you gain an edge others never see. And in that edge lies your advantage. Successful people focus on high-value activities, HVA, because they understand that not all effort produces equal results. They don't confuse being busy with being effective. Most people spend their days reacting to low-impact tasks, answering emails, attending pointless meetings, doing things that make them feel productive but don't actually move the needle. Successful people flip the script. They identify the few activities that produce the biggest outcomes and center their time, energy, and resources around those. High-value activities are the tasks that create leverage. They multiply results, generate income, build momentum, or create long-term growth. These are the actions that, when done consistently, build empires. Things like closing sales, creating valuable content, building systems, training leaders, and casting vision. In contrast, low-value activities are often urgent but not important. They might make you feel like you're working, but they rarely create meaningful progress. The key here is focus. Successful individuals are ruthless about prioritizing HBAs. They don't let their day get hijacked by the urgent. They plan their schedule around the high-value work, not squeeze it in. They protect their prime time for it. They say no to distractions, delegate or automate the rest, and stay locked in on what actually creates results. Let's take a short practical example. Imagine two real estate agents. The first spends the majority of their day tweaking their website, organizing their desk, browsing industry news, and posting random photos on social media. At the end of the day, they feel busy but haven't generated any new business. The second agent blocks 2 hours every morning for lead generation, making phone calls, following up with prospects, and setting appointments. That's a high-value activity because it directly drives sales and income. While the first agent is working on tasks that look good, the second is focused on tasks that pay well. Over time, the second agent grows their business exponentially while the first stays stuck in place, wondering why they're not getting ahead. This is the power of focusing on HVAs. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. When you prioritize your day around high-impact activities, everything changes. Your stress goes down. Your confidence goes up. You start seeing real, measurable progress. And most importantly, you start building a life and business that compound over time. To operate this way, you have to constantly ask yourself, is this the highest use of my time right now? If the answer is no, shift. Because success doesn't come from checking more boxes. It comes from checking the right boxes. High-value activities are the force multipliers in your life. Master them and you accelerate everything. Ignore them and you stay busy without ever breaking through. Focus is the gateway to freedom. When you give your best time to your best work, you create your best results. That's the HVA mindset, and it's how the successful stay ahead. Successful people schedule rest with intention because they know that rest is not a reward for hard work. It's a requirement for high performance. Rest isn't laziness, it's strategy, it's fuel. It's what renews clarity, sharpens focus, and sustains energy over the long haul. Most people think success comes from grinding endlessly, burning the candle at both ends, and always being on. But the most effective people understand that your body, your mind, and your spirit all require recovery to operate at full capacity. Just like a professional athlete trains hard, but also sleeps deeply, eats well, and takes recovery days, high achievers build rest into their rhythm with purpose. What separates the successful is how they rest. It's not accidental or leftover. It's not crashing after burnout. It's planned, it's protected, it's purposeful. They schedule rest before they need it, not just after they break down. Because they know if you don't schedule your rest, your body will schedule it for you. And it may come in the form of illness, burnout, or emotional breakdown. When rest is intentional, it's restorative. It's not zoning out in front of a screen while scrolling social media for hours. That's distraction, not rest. Real rest is something that recharges your soul. It could be quiet time in the morning, a walk in nature, a tech-free evening, time with family, a workout that clears your mind, or even just quality sleep. The key is that it's chosen on purpose and honored like any other priority. Let's take a simple example. Picture two business leaders. The first works 16-hour days, skips meals, sleeps 4 hours a night, and brags about how hard they hustle. At first it seems impressive, but over time their decision-making slows, their creativity drops, and their mood becomes reactive. Eventually their health suffers, their team feels the pressure, and performance collapses. The second leader works hard, but within boundaries. Now they start the day early, schedule deep work in focused blocks, and schedule rest. Lunch breaks, evening, time off, one full rest day a week, and time for fitness and family. Because of this, their energy stays high, their thinking stays clear, and they make better long-term decisions. They perform better not because they hustle more, but because they recover smarter. That's the power of intentional rest. It turns a tired, distracted person into a focused, powerful force. It transforms exhaustion into excellence, and it proves that success isn't about running harder, it's about running smarter. The successful know that rest is not weakness, it's wisdom. When you honor your need to recharge, you operate at your highest potential. If you want to stay sharp, avoid burnout, and build something that lasts, stop wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor. Start scheduling rest like your future depends on it. Because it does. Protect it, plan for it, and use it to power the purpose you're pursuing. When rest is part of the strategy, success becomes sustainable. Successful people reflect and refine daily because they understand that growth doesn't just happen, it's created through awareness and adjustment. They don't just go through the day, they grow through the day. Most people rush from one day to the next without ever stopping to evaluate what worked, what didn't, and how to improve. But the high achievers treat each day like data. They study it, they learn from it, and they use that insight to get better, sharper, and more intentional every single day. Reflection is the habit of high performance. It gives you the clarity to recognize patterns, the wisdom to make better decisions, and the humility to admit what needs to change. Without reflection, you repeat the same mistakes. With it, you refine your process. Success becomes a system, not a shot in the dark. This habit of daily reflection doesn't have to be complicated. It can be 10 minutes at the end of the day asking 3 simple questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? What will I change tomorrow? That short process helps you course correct in real time. It keeps you in line with your goals, your values, and your purpose. It takes the guesswork out of growth. Refinement is the second half of the power. It's not enough to just see what needs to change. You have to adjust. The successful don't just collect insight, they apply it. They make small, steady tweaks to how they manage time, how they lead, how they speak, how they think. And those tiny improvements compound over time into massive transformation. Here's a short example. Imagine 2 sales professionals. Both make 10 sales calls a day. The first ends the day, watches TV, and repeats the same approach the next day, regardless of how effective it was. The second takes 10 minutes at the end of each day to review which calls went well, what was my tone, did I listen actively, where did I lose the prospect's interest? The next day they make small adjustments based on that feedback. By the end of the month, they've not only improved their close rate, they've sharpened their skills, boosted their confidence, and built momentum. The first salesperson worked hard, the second one worked smart and became exceptional. That's the difference daily reflection makes. It turns days into lessons. It transforms routine into mastery. It creates a feedback loop of excellence. If you want to rise faster, go deeper, and build a life of real achievement, start building a habit of reflection and refinement. Don't wait until the end of the month, the quarter, or the year to check in. Do it daily. Success is not found in what you do once in a while. It's in what you do consistently and improve intentionally. Reflect on your results. Refine your approach and watch how your life begins to multiply.